BBC Television presents...
Hancock.
Sid, this is an outrage. It's a slur on the good name of the Hancocks. 4 generations we've graced the borough of Eastcheam with virtues and forbearance, and now this. How dare they? That's insulting 200 years of noble inbreeding, that is. They won't be seeing the colour of my money again, I can tell you.
Good night then, was it, Hancock?
No, I flaming well haven't. It's totally unbelievable. It's the worst night of my life.
What's that? Yeast in the pipes again?
Yeast. This is no laughing matter, Sidney James. I've been banned from the Eastcheam Arm.
What, you've been missing the dartboard again? Poor old Tommy Wilson. He still can't see out of his right eye.
Tommy Wilson? He's never been able to see out of his right eye. It's a congenital defect. He's been scrounging ale because of it for the last 50 years. It's not my fault if he can't see where he's going and walks in front of the dartboard, is it?
All right, Hancock, tell your Uncle Sid what really happened.
Nothing happened. Nothing at all. I was standing at the bar talking to Soapy Stevens when the publican comes over and says women have been complaining I've been standing too close to them. I ask you, you think they would be grateful if a TV star stood next to them, wouldn't you?
And were you standing near to the ladies then?
Soapy Stevens isn't a woman, Sid. But you don't know nowadays, do you? Tomorrow he might turn into one. But he wasn't last night. No, I am not a monster or womanizer. I am a gentleman.
I agree with you there, Hancock. You're no womanizer. More womanless, if you ask me. You're a natural bachelor.
Exactly, Sid. What do you mean? I've had my moments, as you well know. What about Doreen Smith?
What, the Doreen who used to snap horseshoes in half with her bare teeth and knocked you out for putting too much bitter lemon in a gin?
Well, perhaps Doreen's not the best example. You know me, Sid. I'm too much of a gentleman, if anything. I defer to the ladies. Let them have their way. That's my only weakness, my only vice, if you like. Women take advantage of me, not the other way around.
I'm with you here, Hancock. I must admit, all this doesn't sound like you. Who were these women?
That's it, Sid, I don't know. I can't remember seeing any women in the Eastcheam Arms. I wasn't really looking for them, to be quite honest. It was just a boys' night out, me and Soapy going over old times.
Are you sure there weren't any ladies? There's usually one or two.
No, I don't think so. Wait a minute. Elsie the barmaid was there, and Jennifer from the hairdressers. And of course, old Mrs. Thomas, nursing a sherry, and a bruise on her head where she'd been clattered by Mrs. Riley. Oh yes, Mrs. Riley was there as well. And a group of about a dozen ladies on an end night.
Not many ladies, there were hundreds of them. There were loads of women you could have stood close to without noticing. You weren't manspreading, were you? I've seen you do that.
Manspreading? What are you insinuating? I just like to give myself a bit of room. I like to throw my arms out occasionally, as actors do. It's part and parcel of me craft.
It's not your arms they're worried about. It's the other bits, Hancock. The leggy bits. Anyway, don't tell the judge any of that. He might get the wrong idea. Admit nothing.
Admit nothing? How can I admit something when there's nothing to admit?
Well, you know, people have done stuff and don't want to admit it.
If you're going to take that high-handed attitude, Sid, there's no point in us discussing it further.
Can't old Soapy Stevens give you an alibi then?
No, he'll be no use. He was sozzled. He had 2 pints of barley wine. He told the landlord he thought he'd been talking to Jeremy Clarkson for the last 2 hours about cars, the old fool.
Alright, don't worry. I'll talk to Eric the landlord and see if he'll tell me who these women are. And I'll talk to them and find out what it's all about. You know me and the ladies. They always confide in me. I'm a shoulder to cry on. They'll tell me everything, Hancock. Yes, hello, Eric. You know, it's Sid James here. I'm a friend of Tony Hancock. He can't understand all the complaints about women he's been getting. You couldn't do me a favour and ask one of the ladies to come round and have a bit of a chat, because Hancock doesn't know what it's all about. Yeah, right. 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Well, thanks a lot, Sid. I need to know what's going on. The good name of the Hancocks is under attack. We'll have to nip this sort of thing in the bud. The last thing I want is for the papers to get hold of it.
Oh, good evening. Harry the Hack from the East Cheam Herald.
Oh, give me strength. That's all I need. Clear off.
Oh no, don't you like that, Mr. Hancock? It's my job. The public need to know what you've been up to. You're famous. Let me tell your fans all your saucy secrets, like Katie Price.
Why don't you clear off, Harry? We know the sort of story you're after. You only print fake news.
Yes, thank you, Sid. There's no story for you, Harry. Do I look like a man who molests ladies?
Well, now you come to mention it, yes you do. If I was making a photo fit, it would be you. I'd watch you on Hancock's Half Hour. That can get a bit saucy too.
How dare you defame Hancock's? It's a good, clean family entertainment show. Clear off before I thump you one.
Leave it to me, Hancock. I'll deal with him.
Only you lay your finger on me and I'll call my mum. She's the editor. I can empathise with you though, Mr. Hancock, a famous actor, a star. Why can't you leave the ladies alone? You could be the Harvey Weinstein of East Cheam for all you know.
Take that back. You print a word of that rubbish. I'm not the sort to take advantages of actresses on the casting couch.
Well, where do you take advantage of them? Got any pictures? I've got a couch you can borrow. You can come round tomorrow and meet my mum.
I don't want to meet your mother, thank you very much.
Look here, Hack. You leave Hancock alone. He's a star. He doesn't need to go around molesting ladies down the local boozer like some old washed-up B-movie star.
Oh, washed up B-movie star. Oh, that could be you, St. James. But I don't blame you, Tony. If you want to manspread yourself around cheap, that's okay by me. And if there's women around hoping accidentally to rub their voluptuous and nubile bodies against you, I wouldn't blame them either.
Get out before Sid throws you out. You sling your hook, Harry-ack. We don't like your sort round here. You're a bin diver, going through rubbish, trying to dig dirt. You'll get none here.
And the same goes for this old washed-up B-movie star too. He's the sort of journalist that gives the Sun a bad name. We got to do something about it. I'm going to speak to one of the ladies who claims you stood too close to her, a Miss Marbles. She's coming round tomorrow, Hancock. I said you wouldn't be in.
But where am I supposed to go, Sid? I can't go to any of the pubs. I've been barred from the Cheam Curry House and the Coffee and Cheam Cafe. There's nothing else for it. I'll have to go to the Flaming Library.
But just be extra careful you don't stand next to any ladies or lady librarian. And don't bend over to pick up any books they might accidentally drop.
Yes, very sage advice, old chap. I will sit quietly by myself in a corner with a good book. I won't even make eye contact. I'll wear dark glasses, in fact.
Yes, thanks very much, Mr. James, for letting me get things off my chest. Yes, I would be glad to tell you everything about the incident involving that Mr. Hancock. It's most upsetting. I'm feeling very flustered about it. I'm getting hot and cold flashes.
Don't worry, Miss Marbles, you're safe in my hands. Tell me, where did this nasty crime take place?
I was in the East Cheam Arms, about 10:30 on Friday night, Mr. James. I don't usually frequent such establishments, you understand. I was with a group of friends, and a man came right up behind me and invaded my personal space and refused to go away.
There's just one thing that worries me, Miss Marbles. It's just that Hancock isn't the sort of bloke who would do that sort of thing. He's a bit backward about coming forward. A bit shy with the ladies, that's all.
I hope you're not defending his behaviour, Mr. James.
No, don't get me wrong, of course not. He stands too close to me sometimes, particularly when it's my round. I've known him to stand in front of me with his glass outstretched for 10 minutes.
Well, he wasn't doing that. He just wouldn't go away. His nasty, sallow face a few inches away from mine, with that silly voice and laugh. It was most upsetting.
So Hancock had a mean, thin face with a peculiar voice and laugh, you say? Did he look like this by any chance?
Oh no, that's definitely not him. It's that man off the telly. I wouldn't mind if he stood next to me. No, that Hancock is fat portly, I would say. Chubby cheeks. No, he's not like the other Hancock at all.
You see, the bloke in the picture is Tony Hancock. I work with him. What did the fellow you met say his name was?
He said he was Tony Hancock as well.
This other Tony Hancock, he didn't look like this fellow in this newspaper by any chance, did he?
Yes, that's him, that's the devil. Who on earth is he? And why is he pretending to be the Mr. Hancock off the telly?
You all right, Hancock? What's happened to your eye?
Some swine punched me in the face. He said I was a danger to women and should be locked up.
Who on earth was it?
The vicar. Never did like me. I spotted him stealing from the collection plate one Sunday. He's never forgiven me. He kept saying, me too, and belting me.
Where were you standing when he punched you?
I was in crime fiction, as it happens, reading an Agatha Christie novel, A Case of Mistaken Identity. I looked up and walloped.
Because that's a coincidence. I've just found out that the person behind all this, standing close to women stuff, is someone pretending to be you.
Who is it? It must be a very good-looking scoundrel, whoever it is. Not everyone can pull off the Hancock look, you know.
I don't want to disappoint you. I don't think he's good-looking. It's Harry the Hack.
Harry the Hack? Why, that little ferret thinks he can damage my reputation, does he?
Hold on a minute, Hancock. I've got a plan.
Enter.
Hello again, Mr. Hancock. I've seen you come around to my way of thinking. Ready to sell your story to the papers, are you? I'll even photograph your good side, but you ain't got none. Your career needs a bit of a boost, don't it? I'm on your side. I'm just trying to make friends, you know.
You can't blackmail me, Hack, and I don't want to be your friend.
Blackmail? Oh, I'm more a Daily Mail man myself, but don't get me wrong, I'm just working, just doing my job. I'm only a working man, after all. I'm quite a fan of you, Mr. Hancock. I modelled myself on you. I know all your catchphrases. Stop messing about.
Well, go and model yourself on someone else, Hack. Your cover's blown. I followed you to the Crown in Cheam Village and watched you shuffling up to the ladies in there and telling them you were me. I almost gave you a good walloping. The nerve of it.
It's a lie, I tell you. I'm not that sort of man. I'm still a virgin. My mum will testify to that.
That's funny, Hack, because we're going to ask your mum for £5,000 to run your story in the East Cheam Gazette tomorrow.
Oh, please. I only wanted to be the next Tony Hancock, and now it will never happen. I wanted to fill your shoes. Don't tell my mum. She's a big fan of yours, too. She says you're good looking. I'm trying to be as big a man as you are. I just want to be loved like you.
A bigger man as me, you say? And you want to be loved like me? Then we'll say no more about this, Hack. I can quite understand you now. We're on the same wavelength. Yes, we will stand, side by side, shoulder to shoulder. Me too, Harry Hack.